this is again, it's like it's EU versus like the only thing that this is like a rivalry of is just basically like legitimately where they live like geographically, because again, these two are really good friends. They test together all the time. They're basically playing their each other's lists. So this is basically like these are the games I want to know. I want to know what they're saying, because they're like, I'm sure the banter is great. They're like the energy has to be just kind of enjoyable. Like you want to play against enjoyable people. You want to play against your friends. So this is kind of the best of both worlds. Except for now, at the end of this, you're like, oh no, I have to beat you. You know? So,
absolutely. If someone can tell me how I can pull the Twitch chat up to dock in OBS, I know there's a way to do that, but this is what happens when you're not super familiar with this stuff.
You guys can say whatever you want, because Rudrose can't read it.
I can't see it, so be as mean as you want.
Yeah, it'll be fine. As we do see Sky throwing back 3 cards, grabbing 3 cards, and he kept the Goliath. All right, so maybe we're just keeping that. I don't know who won the dice roll, but it does seem like we're probably going to be inking that Goliath pretty quickly. Again, that card can be really, really great because it does help refill our hand, but it also can be a giant aggressive thing to give your opponent 2 cards at the end of your turn. So we do see the high end of Kawa's deck. But we did find our turn 2 ramp. Woohoo!
We did. Well, you know what? I am a little excited to see this as a mirror, because sometimes one of the quote-unquote faults of this deck is that it spends so much time ramping up that if there's a deck much quicker than it, it just can run it over before it gets set up. Whereas here, with both of them wanting to do the same thing, we're going to get to see a lot of these high-impact cards.
Absolutely. And we're Sky's like, I'm going to keep my inkwell below this line, so it'll be a mystery to you, me, and everybody else except for us, chat. So we can see it, but that means that basically that line in the middle there is their hand cam, so we get to see it and feel like geniuses when they make their plays, but they obviously, you know, can't see each other's hand, or that'd be a completely different game of Disney Lorcana, as we got a little bit of a Pixelborn hiccup, which, you know what, makes sense.
It wouldn't be the LCCC if we didn't have a hiccup here and there.
Couple hiccups, but our judges and staff are on it. Boy, they are quick, as we do see a hook and a hook. So this is a true mirror match going down into the strength of Raging Fire. Oof.
Absolutely. And one of the tricky things is we get 1 jump ahead of the bread line, 1 ramp off the top of the deck. I think I'll go to 3 ink next. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, that just came up off the top of my head. One of the tricky things about LCCC, just playing it, is that because of this blue line, for those who've never seen one of these matches before, maybe you're new, the players cannot see each other's, what essentially is below that blue line. And it's great. It allows us casters to see what's in their hand, but it keeps it from each other. But because of that, sometimes your playing space gets a little crowded, so you might see inkwells and other things kind of put in funny positions today.
It's going to get a little crowded here, but it's fine. Itty bitty living space, and we love that.
Good reference.
But we did see that we ended up having a 1 jump ahead on Sky's side on turn 2, and then we ended up having a Tipo on Kawa's side for our turn 2 ramp, and that kind of gives us a little bit more of a board presence. Again, you're kind of like, we hit our ramp, and which is great. Yes. And we did see that we do have a Sail Dare Azurite in our hand as well, available to us, which we might be considering inking, because again, if we get into a situation where we get gum dumped with an uninks, it puts us into an unfavorable position. So we're ahead on board on Kawa's side, but we're also probably going to throw down the Sail Dare Azurite, if not the Cinderella. There we go.
Well, and Kawa goes for a quest with the hook, exposing it to Sky's hook, saying, hey, you can challenge him, but hey, I've also got this Tipo, so if you do, I'm going to trade back. But of course, Sky now setting up the Cinderella, saying, well, okay, but if you trade back, then my Cinderella can also trade back to you. So little early fisticuffs. I kind of expected these hooks to be in a standoff for a while, but Kawa saying, no, go ahead. I'll take this trade.
No, because basically the lower end of this deck is just performative, right? It's not even there to do anything, because we're trying to ramp as much as possible. So again, here, what Kawa would love to do is be able to play his own Cinderella, which we do see he has that. So we're going true mirror match here. And again, even though this Tipo is on the board because of the Cinderella, it's not sticking around for too much, but let's get our lore out of it, because again, every little bit of lore helps. And it's not like we're running dime Tamatoa to where we're basically like, oh, I'm just going to win in 1 game. Yeah. No, like we got to quest the old-fashioned way, people, and it's here. It's set 10, and we're doing it.
That's a great point, Colin. I'm glad you brought it up. That there's no cheese in these decks. You're gonna have to get that 20 lore by sending your glimmers out for a big old quest. Let's see. Kawa's all the way up to 5 ink. Could do a second Cinderella if you wanted to ramp twice even more. You could go in on that Goliath, although... Or sorry, Sky is on the left side. Sky could go in on Goliath, although Kawa only has 3 cards in hand, so he could probably play around it pretty well. You could even Cinderella and still do that Vision of the Future. Do you have a certain line you like here?
I am sending that Cinderella because, again, at that point... Day. Well, and it is like it's a type of filter. So basically what you're going to be able to do is you'll play the Cinderella, and it's super greedy, but yeah, go ahead and you could play the Cinderella and not ink for turn. And then what you could end up doing is at the end of your turn, go ahead and ink one of those cards and then draw a card. And then you get to see what you draw, and then you can ink that card and draw another card. So it's a way of filtering through the deck without actually having to ink for turn and burning up the hand resources that you have.
Yeah. Phil having a little connection trouble here, but that's actually something I quite like about the double Cinderella is they both resolve one at a time. So you take the first one, draw it. You could then use that new card. Oh, this is the card I don't want. Let me tuck that into the inkwell.
Oh, you're keeping that, Hades. Come on, Sky. We want that card. As we did see the Visions of the Future go into the inkwell to kind of draw us that extra card. And now we're trying to decide if we want the second Cinderella trigger, if we're going to pitch this Goliath, if we're going to pitch this. And at this point, I want both of these cards. I don't care about the ink. I just want to, like, these are the cards that I wanted to get to. But Sky's saying, I don't care.
Giving up
what
the
if
Hades.
It's okay, so this is what I hate. It's like basically you're turning, like, it could be anything. Like, it could be like a boat is a boat, but you know, this card could be anything.
It could, the box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
It could even be a boat. Yeah, and that's basically what it is you're turning your T-pose into boats, or you're turning your boats into T-pose, and that is what ends up happening here. And it kind of, we saw that little dance with Sky, and man, I have felt that in my bones, where I'm like, oh, I just turn that into a worse version of itself.
Yeah, well, and this is some of the practicing I've done with this deck, this set. Like, it is really fun when it gets going, but sometimes I would find myself in this situation like, okay, do I hold on to the card draw in Goliath, or do I hold on to the removal in Hades? And then and if you don't get that Goliath, sometimes you run out of cards. Like, you don't have a whole new world anymore to just give you that fresh 7. So you really do have to manage your hand size in this deck.
So we do see the Namari come down, and Namari says when you play this character, you can draw and then discard a card, and at the start of your turn, you get to draw and discard a card too, because her strength is equal to the amount of cards in your discard. So we're kind of looking and seeing which card we want to discard with the Namari. For me, I'm getting rid of that Mulan, but Kawa decides, hey, I don't need this Thunderbolt. This doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, and Thunderbolt's kind of weird in this matchup, right? Like, the only thing it pretty much cleanly takes out is the Cinderella and below, but it's not going to cleanly take out a Hades, a Tinkerbell, Vincenzo. So in a way, I kind of understand getting rid of it because it's just this uninkable, and it's like, well, what do I want to do? Waste it on Cindy? She's kind of already done her job.
Yeah, and we do opt to ink the Strength of a Raging Fire. Again, the only way that we're really getting that is to start going super, super wide. But I don't think with this Namari on board against those 2/2/3s that we really care. So we kept the Hades as removal, and we kept the Mulan as filter, which is going to kind of help us get back to the cards that we need. And never punished, we get a Namari off the top. So we can go ahead and play the Namari, draw a card, and potentially pitch the Sail, which is not doing us any good.
Yeah, except for that card draw. Sail is just kind of sitting there. You could go in on the Goliath. You could easily... I don't think you can play both Goliath and Namari, no. You could Goliath and Sail, although then that's not emptying your hand. We'll go in on our own Namari. Here's your chance to get that Mulan discard, because it's probably the weakest card in this hand currently. But watch Sky throw us for a loop, go like, no.
Oh, no, I want to play.
That. I'm going to throw Goliath away.
I'm actually probably throwing the Sail away and then maybe inking the Mulan because, again, actually, no, I probably want to play the Mulan. Oh, that is just so hard. No, because the thing is like, if you pitch the Mulan. God, I know, Sky, I know, because if you play the Mulan, you trigger the Cindy and you get a chance to draw cards, but you're running low on cards. Yeah. So one of those cards is going to have to end up being Sail. So you could have just play it versus just doing shenanigans, but then you would gotten a character on board, which again gets you more lore. But if Kawa plays a Tinkerbell, it's just going to pop the Mulan anyway. Yeah. So I can see that's that weird little dance we saw from the board to the discard where you're just like and we got a Tinkerbell out of our gambit. We made it. Yeah. We got where we wanted to be.
And as a reminder, and correct me if I'm wrong, Color, I believe the Cinderella effect is optional, though. You're not forced to do it at the end of the turn, right?
No,
even if you've triggered the princess. Oh, you are?
Right, yeah, it is. It's a May ability. It is a
so
May
it's
ability.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's not doesn't force a card from your hand, but
you want it.
she's like,
you know
but you
what I
want to
mean?
do it
Like,
anyway, right?
You gotta do it. Yeah. So we're
It's like
gonna
telling
go ahead
someone
and
at a
ink the
casino, just
Tinkerbell
walk
to draw a
away.
card.
No,
See?
I think
And
I need to spin the slots a couple more times.
So here we do. And Hades is back, but now we have a ton of ink. So okay, this is looking a little bit better. So this is the gamble, right? We took a couple turns and we're like, man, I accidentally turned a Tipo into a sail, or I turned Hades into a sail. That wasn't great. But then we kind of filtered through, got rewarded, and now we have all these bad cards in the inkwell, and we're back to our Goliath and Hades combo that we started with. And now we have enough ink to start slamming these suckers on the same turn, so we can get as much Goliath value as possible.
Absolutely. And as a reminder, the Namari triggers before the draw step, so I believe Kawa is still in the middle of resolving that. He pulled Vision off the top, but this should be for the Namari trigger. So it looks like he's deciding to discard Mulan, and then you'll actually get to draw for turn. That was something about that card, like, if there was some way that I could have drawn for turn first and then triggered her, I think I would have liked her a little better. As we ink Tipo, and it's Hades time, isn't it? I mean, Color, is there a downside to this?
I mean, we're about to find out, but at this point, Sky has so much ink that it's like, all right, whatever. But again, this is that weird kind of mirror match situation. Like, is it better if I play my Hades first? Is it better if you like the kind of that old be prepared conundrum?
Yeah.
Like, if I play be prepared before you play be prepared, I better be prepared to lose. And that's kind of like that weird little nuances of the mirror matches that we're starting to see, especially in these Sapphire situations.
Yeah.
So we see Goliath, Hades, Goliath.
Goliath is definitely calling to Sky, but I have a feeling you're going to have to Hades your opponent's Namari just to keep the mirror going, mimic what they did, because that is Kawa's only form of like filtering at the moment is the Namari.
Right. I mean, it's filter, it's card advantage. It's basically the best card in his deck off the top each time that he wants it. And even if you just throw both of your Cinderellas into that Namari, it's not going to take her out because she is a 0/5, and at this point she looks like a 4/5.
Yeah.
So that's a terrible play, and I would never do it.
Yeah. But that's okay. Hades comes down and asks the same question. Is there a downside to this? Put chosen opposing character into their inkwell. Kawa kind of, hey, do you want my Hades?
Yeah. He's like, you want this one? And he's like, no, dude. Yeah. So
I mean, he's thinking, he hasn't decided yet. So their Sky must have some consideration. Obviously, what's the advantage of picking Hades over Namari? Namari, the obvious, you get to cut off the filtering, the draw, the discard. Hades is
a bit harder to get rid of.
Yeah, the body's slightly bigger.
Yeah, and again, and that's kind of like the weakness of Steel is like large bodies like Vincenzo and even Hades himself just being at the 6 is very, very difficult to get rid of because it's going to take either a ton of characters, which this deck does not like to commit a ton of characters to the board at one time until the late game. And then as well as I love Sky fully flexing his takesies backsies, rights. He's like on the board. I don't care. Actually, into the inkwell. Boom. And it's like, yeah.
Well, he may have been showing him too because he can't see it if he does it below the blue line. So, because I think I've seen Kawa do that too. He'll like show it up top and put it in there.
And I'm like, what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah, and that's kind of one of those instances where like, oh, well, wouldn't you want to keep the Goliath? But in a way, Goliath wants you to empty your hand out so you can get the most draws off of it. So,
yeah, 2 Goliath really don't do much for you.
Kawa does not like the present currently, so he's going to take a little vision of the future and sees, I believe, double Tinkerbell, and a Thunderbolt. And this is one of those instances with Thunderbolt, right? Like, I mean, you can take a Cinderella out, but do you want to burn that on a Hades? I don't think so. That doesn't feel very good.
No, and again, because you'd end up having to play the Thunderbolt and then challenge it, and it's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm probably taking the Tinkerbell at this point just to get some characters on the board because I think we do still have that Namari in hand. So having a Namari Tinkerbell is good. But at the same time, the develop is very attractive because it could be anything. It could be even another Tinkerbell. You know what I mean? True. So again, that's why these are the players on this show and I am not, because I am in it for the gamble of it. I want the chaos. I want to see what that develop is going to get me, even if it's another develop. So
yeah, I was gonna say, that's the only trick though, right?
Don't do it.
If you take the develop and then what if you develop into Tipo or Mulan and then here you
cry.
had a Tinkerbell.
You cry. Yeah.
I'm the type of player, like, I value consistency. So if it were me, it's like the Tinkerbell's here and now. I got to take it.
Absolutely. No, the Tinkerbell is the correct answer. But what about that world where we grab the incorrect answer and get punished with a sail or a Tipo? And that's why I hate Tipo. And I think that's valid.
Well, and that's why we need players on the other side, too, that say, nah, let's gamble. It could be something even better.
Yeah. Again, this is why you will never see me at a top table at a DLC, except for standing there eating popcorn, going, play the develop. And we do see the Tinkerbell come down because that is the correct option. We go ahead and throw all that damage around, and we'll be able to challenge in next turn and splash some damage around, get rid of both of those Cindy's, perhaps. And we go ahead and turn our Hades into that one. So we're not even going to have to splash damage. Just going ahead and cleaning up some of those Cinderellas and getting that double filter ramp scandalous situation off the board.
Absolutely. Board control is very important in this mirror. You do not have any big wide resets. There's no Prince Philip coming. There's no Sisu. There's no Be Prepared coming to save you. So if you let your opponent's board get out of control, you're going to have to manually go through and take out each of those characters. So I think it's pretty key to just try to keep the board size under your thumb.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I mean, and that's another thing too, is like, oh, if you let the board get wide, you really only have single target removal in this deck. You have the Hades, you have the strength. Nope. Let the Storm Rage on. Strength of Raging Fire. I'm like, where am I going? My brain was like going back in time. That other 3 cost, but the inkable one. And so, yeah, and all of that is like single target removal. Again, like you said, we don't like a Tinkerbell is if you stack the damage in a super, super clever way, then maybe Tinkerbell coming down could be a board wipe, but or you have to shift Tinkerbell on herself. That's also another build your own, grab your sword. But like, again, getting too wide is kind of scary.
That's a lot of pieces. Yes. And we are going to take both into the Hades. This does expose the Hades for the counter hit from the Tinkerbell. Granted, ricocheting 2 over to the Goliath isn't probably going to be too detrimental, as Goliath will draw us 2 at the end of the turn. Folks, if you don't know, this is a new card from Whispers in the Well. Goliath says at the end of each player's turn, they essentially alter their hand size until it's 2. So if you have no cards in hand, you draw till you have 2. If you have 8 cards in hand, you discard until you have 2. And then, of course, he has the Gargoyle Stone by Day effect, which is if anyone starts their turn with 3 cards or more in hand, he will not ready.
So it's kind of really neat because if you are playing the Gargoyle synergy, it kind of enables that. And then I do love the flavor win of the Demona. When you play her, she gives you 3 cards in hand. So then she activates that Stone by Day. So she's like the anti-Gargoyle synergy. So we do love flavor mechanics because they're fun and they're awesome. And I'm pretty sure we are waiting on, I think it's Kawa's turn at this point because Sky did pass his turn and have a Cinderella and a Mulan in hand, which is great because then you could play the Cinderella, you could play the Mulan, you could discard a card, and
Kawa
still end up
has
in
a
the
bit
same
of a
spot.
blowout
That's
here,
actually
Color,
terrible.
Right? He could challenge with the Tinkerbell, ricochet to the Goliath, and then use Thunderbolt to finish it off.
Oh, he did draw the Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
that's
that
it.
completely wipes out Sky's board. The only thing that might be giving him pause, and maybe why he hasn't gone in on such an obvious play yet, is that, well, wait a minute, do I want that Goliath to stick around?
Exactly.
That Goliath can benefit me as well.
Exactly. As we do see another Namari come down, and at this point it's kind of like, oh man, I think I'm gonna have to discard this Namari to kind of take the play that you're talking about, but unfortunately because we played the Namari, we can't do that play until next turn. So we're just gonna have to hang on to this Thunderbolt and keep standing and hope that both of our characters make it to the beginning of our next turn.
I think you still hit the Hades here. You ricocheted it because now if the Goliath counter challenges, he'll still banish himself. And if he doesn't, if he just quests with it or leaves it up thinking, well, hey, I'll just protect him this way, you can follow up with the Thunderbolt next turn.
Yeah, the damage would already be on them, so at least he's a little bit weaker than he would be. And there are no more popsicles in this format, so that debilitating, 2 damage being healed off with the Tinkerbell, you're like,
this time.
Oh.
And there comes Tinkerbell through. Whoop! Bam! Hits him so hard that the force knocks into Goliath next door. One of my favorite cards from the first chapter. It's one of the ones I was very happy to see reprinted.
Splashing that damage right on back with her ability. And I can't even remember what the ability is called, but it is a cheeky little ability to be able to do that.
Quick catch up there if you missed it. So Kawa did pass the turn to Sky, but Sky reminded him, hey, the Goliath trigger, it's mandatory. So it actually forces Kawa into drawing a card. So that's why he drew that sale a little late.
Yeah, and that ends up doing it's like, oh, I have to draw a card? Oh, I guess I will. And our Visions of the Future looks much better than Kawa's earlier, as we do see good. 2 Vincenzos, which is unfortunate, but we do also see the Headless Horseman. So we're like,
there's
is this
that
an
chaos
option?
You were talking about.
I know. Are we horse gambling, or are we just going to take that solid 3 damage into our 7 cost with it gives? I mean, that would just cleanly take out that Tinkerbell, and it's a clean answer. It's a 2/8. It's hard to answer except for Namari. That's a pretty good answer to Vincenzo because she is a whatever his discard is, and I think that's probably actually what Sky just asked is how many cards do you have in your discard? Is it 7 or 8? Because then Namari would be able to crack back on the Vincenzo, but he does have 3 lore, so might be worth it.
Yeah, and this is where the Horseman makes me nervous because let's say, okay, I'm going to play it, target the Namari, and as long as 3 action cards get discarded, she's toast. But then what if none get discarded? What if only 1? What if 8? Who knows? Or 6, I guess is technically the max
He's
amount.
still a 5/7. He's still a gigantic
True.
character, but we are going to go for the safe, consistent card and go with
I
our
can hear the
Vincenzo
disappointment in your
Santorini.
voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
boring.
know. I wanted to roll dice, but we are here. And again, like we said, he's going to come in and we're going to ink the Mulan to probably just go ahead and throw that 7 cost 2/8 Vincenzo Santorini with 3 lore. And he does 3 damage when he comes into play, which is going to pop that Tinkerbell and get her out of here.
Ooh.
Requested.
And we have a fun so because we played Cinderella, both her and Goliath are going to go in the bag at the end of the turn here, but we get to choose the order of this. So we can draw 2 for Goliath, which is what we're going to do. Now we can trigger the Cinderella, ink a card for her if we want to, and then draw another one. So a really nice synergy there with the way those 2 cards work together.
Absolutely, that does work really, really well. As opposed to other cards in this this meta where we've seen the playing it with and playing the opposite Goliath, and you're like, wow, these ruined my whole day. But we drew another Goliath and another Hades. This is like the story of this game for Sky. His Hades and his Goliaths like to just hang out in like a little squad, and they keep showing up together over and over. As we do see more sales for Kawa.
Kawa perhaps feeling a little jealous of the Inkwell. Sky has a 5-card ink advantage over him with 13-8. We did get a Thunderbolt. So we have Thunderbolt, Tinkerbell, Cinderella on her own, probably not doing much for us at this point. You could drop Tinkerbell. I mean, obviously Namari can trade in, but then you're giving up your Namari. You can still Thunderbolt the Goliath. Tinkerbell on her own doesn't do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's one of those situations where you're like, I don't know, do I think it just put, I mean, Tinkerbell's a great character to put on the board, and then the Thunderbolt itself is probably going to be what you need to start chipping into that, because again, Goliath is a 6/5, so Namari will not make it through that situation.
Yeah. I think you have to give up Cinderella at this point. Like I don't, or are we still deciding the Namari effect, or have we already resolved that? I guess we already resolved that.
Yeah, so we are.
Kawa says, Rudrose, you have no idea what you're talking about because I'm going in on Cinderella.
Yeah, we're probably at this point going to go ahead and ink that Thunderbolt because again, it's 4 damage. It's not a Zeus. It's not a Zeus. It's a balanced Zeus. But again, if we had our own Hades, it would give our deity characters +2.
Oh, I think Zeus is balanced, but that doesn't matter now because he hurled his Thunderbolt. He zapped, hit that gargoyle in the head, get him out.
It worked out, yeah. And he's like, oh, do I quest with this? Because it is approximately a 32/5.
Right, I mean, if that has 8 strength, so go ahead. Would you want to run Vincenzo into it? I'll knock him out in one go.
But yeah,
5, I like that. That's pretty good.
I mean, he's a bit.
We can't tell for sure, but she's got to have probably 10 strength, maybe more.
Absolutely, and it's like, I mean, in Vincenzo, he is not for challenging. He's got bombs when he comes in, but he has noodle arms going out, so he is a quester, and we want him questing. Or sometimes people will have them sing Beyond the Horizon, but Namari's not doing anything other than going right into the inkwell. And now we are again utilizing dumping our hand, and this is kind of where Goliath starts to get really out of control. Is because of the amount of ramp that Sky has done in the early game. My Goliath is giving me 2 cards. My Goliath is also giving you 2 cards. You don't have anywhere near the amount of ink that I have to utilize the cards that I'm giving you. And that's kind of the problem that we've kind of run into of this situation. And it seems as though Kawa probably recognized that and did go for the Cindy play to potentially ramp himself a little bit more. Because it's funny because Sky has 14 ink and Kawa has 10 ink. And that's, for some reason, that's like like an entire continent's worth of difference between ink totals.
Well, and we saw it kick in that last turn, right? That playing both a Hades and a Goliath. Hey, I'm going to take out your biggest threat and also establish a form of card draw for myself. And that's huge when you can do that in 2 turns. Oh, also, they both leave these 6 willpower bodies behind that also quest for 2 apiece. So good luck getting rid of these.
And we do see, like, I'm pretty sure that that's Sky's 4th Goliath. Like, he has drawn all of them. He's drawn 2 Hades. And I'm pretty sure the only thing that Kawa keeps drawing is Thunderbolts and T-Bows and Sails and Visions. Yeah. I mean, so he should be able to find some of his bigger stuff with those Visions. But at the same time, we're not drawing our high impact characters. We are drawing our actions.
Yeah. And as we see, Cinderella ran into Vincenzo just to get some damage on him. But, I mean, you've got ages to go as Tinkerbell's going to come in. And this is looking very much in Sky's favor at this point. It's going to be quite difficult for Kawa to come back in this position.
Yeah, we definitely see all of our big boys making an appearance, and it's so big, I don't even care. We're playing Headless Horseman. He's here. He's the cursed rider. He's coming in, and what he says is each player draws 3 cards, and then you discard 3 cards at random, and then you get to do 2 damage for each action discarded this way. And you get to choose the target after you see the amount of damage. So Sky had no cards in hand, so he drew 3 cards, and he has a vision of the future. That's 2 damage available.
Kawa needs to draw 3, or he needs to draw 3 first before he discards. Or maybe he already did it? Or is he drawing after? Doesn't he draw first?
You draw first, and then you discard at random.
Yeah, it looks like he discarded first, but I'm pretty sure you draw first.
It's a brand new card, so it's definitely a little bit hard to kind of figure out. But at that point, I think that Sky has 2 to 12 damage available to do to him to do.
Well, if
I'm not sure how they resolve it.
No matter like the hook was going to go out no matter what. But yeah, right. It looked like maybe Kawa actually threw his hand out first and then drew, but it should be you draw 3, then you randomly discard 3 from your entire hand.
Right.
Not that it probably matters at this point, because again, I think this is likely.
Yeah,
over.
I think we're scooping it up. He's like, bro, you played the Horseman, like just get after it, because again, that's like a 7/5.
Yeah,
and then you've got the Goliath. You've got this. There was just so much like willpower on the board that you were just gonna have a literal be prepared. Yeah, so it's like.
Exactly right. That's when you needed those Ruby decks to come in to clean, because you cannot challenge your way out of that. Like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And, you've only got 4 strengths and 4 thunderbolts, and that's not even enough because, again, you can't build a board wide enough to get 8 characters on the board with these types of decks. So we're scooping it up and going to game 2. Sky takes game 1 of the LCCC.
And while we're waiting between rounds, we'll do a quick check on their deck lists. Go ahead and show Sky's. They're essentially the same folks, so I only really need to show one because the only difference is Kawa is running 4 Hook and 2 Mulan, and Sky is running 4 Mulan and 2 Hook.
I kind of like that too, and it's funny. It was like if that's the indicator of like what the difference is that little extra bit of filter from Sky's deck is kind of what's propelling him into this like situation. Because again, I don't know how much we're building our decks to cannibalize the mirror, right? We're still in the situation where you're like, oh, I'm trying to beat this deck and I'm trying to beat that deck. But again, how like in my testing where I'm at, I'm not thinking about the mirror quite yet. And so, I know there are so like Emerald Sapphire, I think is seeing a lot of mirror matches, and we're knowing that's getting really popular. I think like Amethyst Steel, but I don't know how much Sapphire Steel is being like, all right, I got to make sure that I'm going to win this mirror. So I'm very interested to talk to these players and be like, did you guys know? Did you know? Like, like when you submitted your deck list that your first match was going to be a mirror, because come on. But
trying to pop out the chat window, taking this moment to catch up on chat and Twitch. Hey, thank you for watching us. You are joining midway through, and we have just finished game 1 as the players are getting ready. This is a blue steel mirror, so I hope you enjoy those. Let me kick it back and see if they're ready for game 2.
And so in this tournament, no, the deck lists were not known beforehand. The people were chosen for the team, and then they submitted their deck list, they got their pairings, and so the first time that they saw each other's deck list was just now with you, me, Rudrose, and chat. So they basically had to blind, alter, and now they know what they're playing against. So now they're like, holy crap, it's a mirror. I know exactly what I need. And they're potentially, we're keeping a TPO. That's fine. But like, am I playing a 1-drop? Do I care? Or I'm shipping all of this back? Exactly. Sky's like, oh no, I know what I'm playing. He is locked in. So it is kind of interesting to basically see the shift, right? Like game 1, we're like, oh, blind mole. Like, oh, what if it's aggro? What if because you were speaking earlier to being like, sometimes there's decks that just can go right under this one. And you got to kind of, in the blind, you need to use your altar to set yourself up for the worst case scenario, right?
Absolutely.
But now we know what we're playing. And Sky's like, okay. It's like, I know what I need. Kawa's same thing. Ship the whole hand, keep a TPO. Keep a Cinderella, ship the whole hand. Oh no! We're going to get it. We'll get our turn 2 ramp. I'm sure it's there. It's probably hidden off to the left.
Hopefully that's going to feel even worse, like especially when Sky was ramping as much as he was last game.
Yeah. Sky with the 2 T-pos, and then Kawa just with the Cinderella
Right.
on 4 will be, that'll be it. That'll
Yeah.
be a really quick match, folks. So let's hope that Kawa has one chance, because he will be on the play. So he has one chance to draw his turn 2 ramp. It's fine.
He does have the
It'll be fine.
Mulan at least, right? So he could dig at least one little bit deeper, but yeah, it's
Oh, he
night
does,
and
he
day
does,
if you
okay.
miss that ramp, because these decks aren't built for that, right? These decks pretty much don't run 3 costs because they're not planning to play characters on. They're planning to play 4 costs on turn 3. They're not planning to put out a bunch of 3 costs.
Yeah, it's 2, 4, 10 is what this deck wants to do.
That's it.
Like,
those are the only numbers.
Yep, that's it. That's what we want to do. And again, we saw kind of what happened when Sky got such a jump on the ramp ability. But we do get a develop your brain. We're throwing that sucker into the inkwell, because if we have to play develop your brain on 2, it's game over.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We got a Mulan.
Sky does have, notably, he does have 3 uninkables in hand, but he also has 2 T-pos, so he can probably filter out.
He's fine.
Kawa has a T-po as well, so he did get his ramp, and he's got Cinderella. So I think we're gonna see the usual affair.
It was hidden over to the side. I was wondering. I was like, man, I really hope there's like a T-po just kind of like off to the side where we didn't see it. So we do play our Mulan on 1, and we're gonna discard a Hades. He's big, he's uninkable, and he's in the discard, and hope that doesn't bite us later. And then, of course, never punish Sky drawing a sail off the top.
Even more ramp.
Yeah.
I saw a meme going around of someone, it was like a SpongeBob SquarePants, and it was a blue player at the restaurant going, oh, yeah, can I get a T-po and a sail on 2? And the guy's like, oh, very original, sir.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, if we don't hit it, it's not a game, and we don't get to watch anybody play, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Because we are going to go ahead and ink our Strength of a Raging Fire, signaling again, we're kind of sitting on some uninkables, but that's fine because I don't think that card is very good in this matchup anyway. Yeah. We're trying to get past that. We're past the little removal. We need to get going.
Strength is good for taking out the smaller bodies, but the willpower is so large in this matchup, and you're probably not going to be able to maintain a large enough board for Strength to hit above 4 very commonly.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy ink, especially this early in the game, because again, I don't want to sing Strength of a Raging Fire on your Mulan.
Right. Speaking
Literally,
of which,
no. Like,
Color, I don't know about you. I get so happy when my opponent doesn't play a 1-drop and my 1-drop just gets to quest for free. I'm like, well, I don't mind if I do. I'll just send them out there and go ahead and grab one.
That is very. I was about to say that's very, very good for Kawa leading up, being on the play in that situation to make sure that maybe, hey, like, okay, you did play. I mean, I played my Mulan. You didn't play anything. That's fine. But you being on the draw, and again, that was like kind of the deciding thing for Sky and his altar is like, do I really need a 1-drop? It's like, maybe not. Again, we see Strength of a Raging Fire straight down in the inkwell, and we're deciding, do we want T-po? Do we want a sail? Do we want to keep both of them and potentially double like ramp next turn? Because if we do T-po now, I think our hand's getting a little low.
Yeah, I think you T-po and get rid of one of the uninkables, the Hades or the Thunderbolt, because I think you want the T-po to contest this Mulan. If you go into sail, now your opponent's just freely, and that early lore can matter. If it gets down to 5 lore at the end of the game, you're going to be wishing you'd stopped them earlier.
But again, at this point, you're like, man, do I want to keep this Thunderbolt? And if I T-po, I'm going to have to Thunderbolt. If I sail, I could draw a card that I could potentially ink. But if I don't draw a card that I could potentially ink, I'm going to have to ink this stinking Namari or my Goliath. Mm-hmm. So again, I think the safe thing is we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Goliath anyway.
Wow.
Valuing
keeping his
Thunderbolt.
Or his uninkables, sorry.
Yeah.
Huh,
valuing it.
Well, that's why I love watching these players, because there's so many things. Oh, well, I would do this, and then it's always fun to see. Oh, actually, they're going to go off in this direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like, well, I know nothing. Haha. As we do see that Kawa is going to have Cindy on 4 ink, and at this point, Sky does not have Cindy on 4 ink. And let me tell you, in this meta, when your Sapphire opponent plays a Cindy and you don't get your Cindy, that's the worst. Like, them playing their Cindy first is awful, but you not having yours at all is actually even worse, or more worse, the worstest.
Kawa goes for 2 questing. The T-po can trade into Mulan, but he cannot effectively banish the other T-po. We go to the Cinderella trigger. I believe we inked I think it was a Thunderbolt in our hand. I thought it was an uninkable, and we drew into a Namari, it looks like.
Pretty good. And we do have our Goliath. And again, I mean, this Goliath, we can't get that out anytime soon, but imagine if we could. Kawa would just basically rip literally all of the cards out of Sky's hand.
And so this is a key part of this matchup. I'm glad you touched on that, Color, because look how low Kawa's hand is versus Sky's hand. And so sometimes when you don't see this Goliath, I kind of mentioned earlier, it's tough to refill your hand. But in one of these situations, if you can drop this next turn and now Sky is forced to either just try to dump a bunch of stuff out or just go, well, I guess I'm discarding 3 at the end of the turn. Like, he could be huge here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of why we really probably want to sail here. And so that way we sail, draw a card, and then double ink for turn. And that's why maybe like if we rip like a one jump ahead off the top, and then that Tipo gets to sing the little baby one jump. Yeah, that'll kind of propel us to where we need to be. Because again, like you were saying, when we're at 5 ink over at Kawa's side and he slams that Goliath, and we're basically saying, okay, you don't get to keep any of these cards. And I know Sky is good enough. He's good enough of a player to see that in hand, see the low resources and the ink total and be like, oh, crap. Like, I'm about to have 2 Hades in hand that I won't be able to play. So, again, we're going to go ahead and ink the Vincenzo because he's gone. And then are we going to ink the Namari or are we going to ink the
You could play the
Captain Hook to play?
The Hook does check every character on this board. No, he has to give it up.
Yeah, we're going to give that up, and then hopefully we can get down the Namari next turn to be able to filter through and get rid of some of these cards.
Tipo will challenge Mulan, which just seems wrong, right? I mean, this is someone who battled Shan Yu on a mountainside, and some little boy just came up and like kicked her in the shin, and off she goes.
She's like, I am a warrior in training. I need to have a little bit more training. I got taken out by a growing boy.
Well, perhaps I'm not as well trained as I thought I was. So
yeah. Mulan, oh gosh. But so we do see another Thunderbolt. Again, we're kind of seeing that these don't really have a lot of backing in this, but we are going to have to ink the Namari to then play the Goliath, which I think is kind of fine, but at the same time, Kawa doesn't know that we're sitting with 2 7-cost uninkables in our hand. So like he's like, oh man, you're probably going to be able to dump your hand pretty well this next turn. So like maybe this Goliath is impactful, maybe it's not, because again, it is at the end of your turn. So that will give Sky an entire turn to kind of finagle and get his cards out of his hand to where he's not losing too much value.
You know, if Kawa wants to be greedy for the extra card and he hasn't exerted the Cinderella yet, he could sing Thunderbolt on one of his own characters. He could either willingly put damage on Goliath and keep his whole board or give up the Tipo. Looks like he's going to do it. And then along came Cindy. She hurled her Thunderbolt.
You see Sky, he's like, yeah, do it.
Zap
do
that
it.
Tipo.
Yeah, get rid of it. That is such, like, I absolutely love it. Like, that is one of my favorite plays I've ever seen, because I saw that and you were saying it and I was like, what an unhinged Pleakley thing to do.
Right?
And you were like, what if I did though? And so we went ahead and we did draw that. So again, we are realizing that we're going to have to
discard 2 here, right? Or I guess we can ink 1 still. So we'll have to discard 1.
Right. And again, so we'll probably ink 1 and then we're going to have to discard 1 and like keep the Hades potentially.
Yeah.
Because we are getting a little high on ink. So, but then we're going to have to just hope against all hope that we're going to draw some inkables off the top. This is the gamble that we're taking.
Yeah.
If we get stuck at 6 ink, it'll feel real bad. Look at Kawa. He's like, aha, confidence. Unexert my Cinderella.
I mean, that's bold. Yeah. Send in your own Tipo to the discard pile because you wanted that extra card draw, and we'll see if it pays off for Kyle.
Good.
As it goes into double okay, the backup plan,
They're
right?
big.
Saying, what are you going to do?
Big.
Hades one? That's okay. I've got the spare.
Yeah, again, we don't Kawa has no idea that we've got our backup sitting there, and he's like, okay, do I want to? Now this is a little bit of a gamble. Like, we know, but he doesn't know. He's like, okay, you can send your Namari into my Goliath. Sick. That's cool. But can you deal with this other Goliath? Yes, you can. And what we do see, Hades and his best friend Tipo. As our cards to draw off a Goliath.
Off the top. That's from the Namari trigger. We still
no! Okay, but we have the Namari trigger, so we're good. We're good. We are going to have to probably discard the Thunderbolt.
I think you just throw the Thunderbolt out, yeah.
Get that out of here, Sky. But again,
tell Hephaestus that, hey, this one came out of the Forge wrong and get a new one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, get this out of here. But again, I'm like a snap decision player where I'm like, oh, get this out of here. Like, Sky is an amazing player. So he's going to think about all of the lines. He's going to actually go through and be like, listen, what are the pros and cons? Like, what happens if I throw the Hades? If I keep a Hades? What if I brick myself again?
Oh, man.
Because at least he can sing the Thunderbolt if he doesn't draw another inkable.
Okay.
Right.
It's the Mulan. Namari saving him there because that was a natural draw for turn. He would not have been able to play anything but
that's what I'm saying. in a world where he doesn't draw another Inkable, at least he could play the Thunderbolt to get that Cinderella out of there. And he's setting himself up to still have a line if the worst thing in the world happens and he draws another Inkable. Again, I'm an insane player, and I'm like, never punish drawing.
I would have done but I would have done the same.
I'm insane.
I would have done the same. And you're right. Sky made a very, you know what? In case I draw another Inkable, I need to. I cannot just pass this turn. I need to play a card.
Absolutely. And Kawa was like, which one do you want? Which one do you want? He's like, get the Cinderella out of here. And again, I'm like, I'm putting words in their mouth, but I still want to know what they're saying. You know what I mean? As we do see Hades come down, one of our Goliaths into the inkwell. We have 8 ink on Kawa's side and 6 on Sky's side. And we're sitting at 0 lore to 7 lore. Kawa looking pretty good this game, but we are staring at an Amari and a Hades, and they big.
Yeah, and Sky drew into double ramp off of the Goliath trigger, which does benefit your opponent. We do have a Hades on Kawa's side, so he can go ahead and clean up whatever his choice is. Probably Namari makes more sense. Do you think there was a world where you actually challenged the Goliath with the Namari and then you Hades the other one?
I kind of thought about that line at the same time, but again, I think the problem with that is Sky was valuing the filtering from the Namari.
Yeah.
Because then if you do that, you're going to lose your Namari. And that's really the only thing that's going to get us through this game at this point, other than because we just drew a Sail and a Tipo. And it's like, sick. I get to play this Sail next turn to maybe draw a card that isn't a Tipo, you know? Again, man. Like, I'm with JDZ, man. I hate Tipo. God. Like, one of those little necessary evils where every time you see him, you're like, how dare you show up in this game, even though there's 4 of you in my deck. Going to 10. Look at Kawa here.
And even opens up the hook saying, hey, if you want to expose your Hades to this hook, I'm okay with that. Like, waste time going after him.
He's like, I'm the aggro deck now, as we do draw a vision of the future. Yeah, look at me. I'm the aggro deck. But like, basically, Vision of the Future is a really good one here. It's much better than having to rip a Sail, you know? So we're going to go ahead. Did he play the Sail?
I think,
and the visions, or
I think he did. I think he sailed, and maybe he drew Sail for turn, and then he drew the vision off the Sail.
Okay, things happened here, and we do see both Goliaths here. So do we keep the Hades? Oh, the Hades is so attractive because we already have a Goliath on board that we could kind of keep around. And then if you wanted to, so you Hades, their Hades, or you take the Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell's more of a long-term investment. She can probably do more over the course of a couple turns. Hades is obviously kind of a one and done.
But then you could double challenge into their Hades and then like make them crack back with the Goliath and still get the card draw off of it. But at the same time, we're going double ink, get them out of here and go ahead and wow. Okay, so he did math. That's actually why Sky is amazing at this game. He played the Sail. He had the visions. He did the math, inked the two poopy cards, and then played the good card. So... And that was a very ink efficient. I love watching these games for this reason. You know, I learned something.
Goes ahead and takes out the free hook and then draws 2 off of the Goliath as well. Again, Sky essentially using his opponent's Goliath to, hey, I don't need my own card draw. Your Gargoyle is doing it for me. And this is one of those that, you know, it's definitely a downside to Goliath, right? You're actually helping your opponent with him currently.
And again, we now see that Kawa and Sky both are caught up on ink totals. So they're sitting around the same thing. So kind of what we said, the disparity of the last game where Sky had so much ink that Kawa wasn't able to be utilizing their hand. Now they're kind of keeping up on ink totals. So Kawa's Goliath is actually helping Sky at this point.
Yeah. We see the reverse tink, and then we see he hurled his thunderbolts, blasted that fairy off the board.
All right, so
that's a clear board.
Great turn and going ahead and clearing the board. Now, again, even a Tinkerbell off the top isn't really going to do much. But hey, why not a Vision of the Future? It could be anything. It could even be another Vision of the Future.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't like what I saw the first time. Let me look again. Maybe I made a mistake.
Remember Ruby Sapphire situations where you're like, I'm gonna play Visions of the Future, and you're like, sick, that's fine or whatever, and they're like, okay, I'll take Visions of the Future, and you're like, you and you like look at the clock, and you're like, there's like 5 minutes left, and you're like, bro, no. Like, if you don't Visions with lightning speed, I will flip this table and call a judge. But yeah, so we are gonna Visions. We are gonna take did we take a? He's here. The Curse Rider is back. Let's resolve it properly this time. Let's see. Draw 3 cards. All right. We're drawing 3 cards. And then we're going to go ahead, roll some dice, and we will discard at random. And then once we know how many actions are in the discard, we will then choose a character to then eat all of the damage.
Do you decide the character after the discard, or do you have to decide
After
it
the
before?
discard.
Okay.
Nope. Because, like, yeah, if you decide it before, you're like, I want to do this many damage to Goliath, and you're like, well, I didn't discard anything but 2 cards.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll just put it on the Hades. So it makes more sense.
Oh, the triple action.
2, 4, 6. Oh my god. So that is 6 damage so far for this horseman.
Could be
Again,
going
I
for
mean,
the
that's
12.
a dragon fire. I know. No.
Oh,
Oh my god.
it's
We are about to
5.
blow something out of the sky. That is insane. So that is what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Yeah.
10
that's
damage?
10 damage. The full
What do you
Sleepy
want,
Hollow
Sky?
experience. They saw that
I
horseman
know.
coming down, just slice.
Literally one more card and he would have done the full damage. I have not seen a horseman hit like that in ever. And we just blew that what was it? The Tinkerbell? Is that what we got rid of?
Tinkerbell.
I mean, that makes sense, but wow, she went down. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
She's used to dealing with pirates.
No
She's not
shot.
used to ghosts.
She's not used to it, right? A headless horseman. It was a cursed rider. Basically dropped too many bombs.
Yeah.
Too many bombs. That was awesome.
Now, the only
I love that.
downside, this has left Sky with 2 1-jumps in hand. It got rid of his
Listen,
filtering.
I didn't want to talk about that. I
was
didn't.
like, don't worry about
like,
that. Look at the 10
Bro, because
damage.
look at Sky. He's like, there's 2 in the deck and they're in my hand. What is happening? And I hate it for you. At least the song's good. Maybe he's singing it in his head. And he's like, no, he's probably like, are you serious? But we do again. But the thing is the Goliath is still here. We did choose the Tinkerbell. We just busted her right on out of the sky.
Yeah.
And now the Goliath will be able to, we could go ahead and play both 1-jumps. Who knows? And then just like, we're going to have to play both 1-jumps to be able to trigger the Goliath next turn. Oh, Sky, I'm so sorry.
Unless he can draw into like a Mulan or some kind of filtering or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That he's 1 jump behind at this point. Actually, 2 jumps behind at this point.
Well, and you can see as we play another
Goliath.
Goliath, this is the key difference, right, between a card like Sail and 1-jump. A 1-jump off the top doesn't do anything. A Sail off the top lets you dig 1 deeper, as we even just put the Tipo body out.
I know. Well, we inked our hook, and that way we get our full value off of the Goliath. And he's like, bro, I'm scooping.
Yeah.
I don't even care
Look at
anymore.
this.
He's like, what the heck?
Exciting moment with that horseman, but ultimately wasn't able to bring him back into it.
That's what I'm saying. I was like sitting there, and when he flapped both of the 1-jumps, I was like, okay, so he does have the Goliath, so he'll be able to do that. I was like, bro, he's gonna have to hard play both 1-jumps ahead. I don't even know if this man wants to do that. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore. You know, just like, go ahead, let's go next. Again, Kawa was sitting really, really well with a bunch of Goliaths, a bunch of big characters and everything, and Sky had 2 1-jump aheads in
Kawa
hand,
just
so.
great use of cycling those Goliaths, as well as he was just keeping his hand at that perfect amount over and over and over again.
Absolutely, yeah, really utilizing that. And again, but we did see again, like, kind of Sky recognizing too, and keeping up that ink disparity. That's just what ended up happening, like keeping up the ink disparity to be able to where Kawa's Goliath was actually helping Sky, but unfortunately in helping Sky draw the worst cards in his deck. So like if Goliath is letting you draw good cards, then hey, we have a game. If you're getting Tipos and Sails and 1-jump aheads, and also too, the Headless Horseman discarded 3 actions and he drew into 2 more actions. So I know you have characters in your deck. I can see the list. So again, that's kind of the nature of these Sapphire Steel mirrors, and the nature of also too our horse gambling is like,
absolutely,
you introduce that chaos, and it's like, what are we gonna get? You know, so
poor Tinkerbell is like, horseman, I'm not scared of him, and she looks up at the sky and just like a beam of light just like eviscerates her.
She absolutely was banished into the Shadow Realm on that one. Yeah. There was no need to do 10 damage to a Tinkerbell ever, but it happened, and I love that card so much for that reason.
It was amusing, It's like I said, it's too random for my personal taste, but I can absolutely see why people like it, because man, sometimes you get stuff like that, and what did we talk about earlier?
It's like shifting Clarabelle and singing "You're Welcome." You're like, I'm a god, you know what I mean? And you're like, haha. There's a few mechanics in that game that really give you that jolt of like, well, this is why we play it, and for some reason the horseman watching that resolve is like, no, this is why I play this game. I want shenanigans that, like, the ceiling is so high that it's ridiculous, and the floor isn't actually that bad because he's a 5/7 with 2 lore. So
and look at it from a practical point of view too, Color. That what did we talk about earlier? How high are these willpower bodies? You can't challenge through these. This is a card that can knock out an 8 willpower Vincenzo in one shot if it's able to. So like that is worth something.
Yeah, again, and like I said, like the floor being just a massive headless horseman body that you have on the board, and against steel, like that willpower is a little much, as we see every single thunderbolt and every single strength in this matchup just being pitched as fast as possible because those removal pieces aren't for this matchup.
Yeah.
Oh God, are those the one jumps? Sky, shuffle your deck, my man.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of ramp, no problem, and the Tipo can sing.
There's only 2 in the list, right? We saw that. There's only 2 in the list.
I think so. Let me pull it up.
I think they're mocking him.
Let's see. Yes, there are only 2 in the list.
He's gonna keep one because Tipo singing a one jump on 3 is amazing.
So
like it's so good. I'm laughing, but at the same time, I'm like, you got to send the other one back.
Yeah.
But no, starting out with Tipo and one jump together, go being on the play, that's gonna be so amazing for him.
His deck's going to Sky saying, "So I heard you liked ramp. Have I got something
right?
for you?"
Yeah,
folks, if you're just joining us in the chat, feel free to like and subscribe while you're here. We appreciate you being here. I guess that's more of a YouTube thing. I don't know if you can like on Twitch, but nonetheless, you're about to witness Game 3. Yeah, follow. That's it. You're about to witness Game 3 between Sky and Kawa, and Sky will be on the play for this final tournament. And he's hopes that NA are riding on him. NA's having a great tournament so far, and Sky doesn't want to let him down. But Kawa, of course, wants to be the European who just comes through and says, boom, take that from across the pond.
All right, so we did throw both of those one jumps back, and I can't wait to see them come up on a Goliath trigger turn, and then both of them being like, "Hey, we're back." So we'll see. And again, I think Sky was probably looking for that Cinderella because I think that is really, really powerful on the play in this matchup. I think that's a much better option than trying to have your Tipo singing one jump. So being able to send both of those back gives you 2 more chances to see that Cinderella.
Man, I would have kept one. I'm greedy. I would have been like, "Hey, you can
I know.
Sing it. You can sing it."
The thing is like, I'm insane. So yeah, I absolutely would have. And so there we go. Horseman into the inkwell. Develop your brain. Coming down on turn 1 to maybe sculpt our hand to be. Oh, there's a 3 horsemen. Shuffle your deck.
Uh-oh. We did find a sail, so we got another way to ramp.
Oh my God. Is that 4 horsemen?
I think.
Does he have 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in his hand right now?
I can't tell what that back card is.
No, is that a Goliath? It's a Goliath.
I think it's Goliath.
Right?
Okay. Still, 3 is quite a lot.
Hysterical. I was like, he assembled all 4 of the horsemen.
Right?
But no, he did not. He's not.
The whole screen just starts getting dark
I know,
and
right?
red.
Yeah.
You're like,
uh-oh. Yeah. Pestilence is not here yet.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. As we do ink the strength to play the Mulan to filter, and we're going to go ahead. We're probably going to discard. Oh, I don't know.
See, and again, I love seeing this because as a player, you talked about the snap judgments. Snap judgment, I'm like, I get rid of the uninkable. I would have just immediately gotten rid of the Hades, but I appreciate these players taking their time, thinking through, well, hold on, I might need that Hades. That's the only thing in this match that's a guaranteed get that off the board, so maybe I hold on to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's another thing too, is like, go ahead and pitch that Goliath because again, we know that Sky's probably going to play their own Goliath in time. So inking the strength off the top, it's good. Potentially playing the Tipo. Oh man, this sucks. This is why this is hard, especially being on the play. Your hand resources are a little bit lower to begin with. And like you said, we're not seeing that Goliath straight off the top. So it's like, okay, great. I'm going to have to ink my second horseman into the inkwell. At least he's foil though. Shout out Sky. And then go ahead, play the Tipo, eat up some of my hand resources.
Like you said, I think I value the sail just because my hand is lower.
But we're going to go ahead and ink the strength because, again, that card's not doing much for us in this matchup. And then potentially sailing next turn and hope we sail straight into a Goliath because we did see that Kawa ended up discarding a Goliath. So he's like, I'm not going to be the first one in this matchup to slam a Goliath. It won't be me. So this is a pretty risky and rough spot because, again, oh, man, if we pitch this horseman, that's our 3rd horseman.
Yeah. The one quote-unquote good thing for Sky, I don't know if this is a good thing.
There's a Goliath right in the middle of his hand. I am insane.
He's got the
okay.
Goliath.
I was like, that's 4 horsemen. My head,
No, you're good. You're good. Kawa doesn't have the traditional ramp on 2. He's actually going back to chapter 1 because it's just the one jump. But you've got a body on board. Like, I think you're okay. And as a matter of fact, maybe pulling it from the top of the deck is a little better since you're not affecting your hand size.
Yeah, and being on the draw too, you still are up 1 card compared to them, and you're really trying to get down on hand size, which is actually kind of funny. So it's counterintuitive because you know that Goliath is going to be coming down as soon as possible.
And Kawa has the Cindy too, so.
Right. So and Kawa does have that. So his hand can stay a little bit more gummed up because he's going to get at least 1 Cindy filtering, 2 if he can play the Namari the next turn. So that's kind of really like a really, really good follow up to that. So we might have to
It's an inkwell full of horsemen as Kawa puts his own horsemen into the inkwell, and here comes that one jump ahead of the bread line. One ink right off the top.
I think I'll take a stroll around the block. No,
Bum,
you should probably
bum,
finish
bum,
the
bum.
game. Don't do that. But yeah, so just finish the game. You're good. As we did see, yeah, we're hard playing that. We're putting that down and then passing it back over. And so now we're back to Sky too. Like I think Sky's hand is very, very interesting because you know where you want to be, and basically you're trying to take the puzzle that is your hand and piece together where you want to be.
Mhm.
And this is what really separates like the great, but because Kawa's hand, you're like, okay, cool, we're gonna play Cinderella on 4 ink, then we're gonna drop into Mari, and then we're gonna try to do this.
Ooh,
And
Zeus.
Sky's is like, how are we gonna get to where we need to be, and what do we have to ink? And this is really because like playing the sail is bananas, but at the same time, like, okay, so we're probably going to play the sail and have to ink this
some
horseman
yeah,
and the vision as well. My goodness.
What you could do is you could ink horseman, use the vision, and then see what you get. You would still have one more ink. You could put in Tinkerbell. You could pull something else off to ink.
But that's the thing is like I kind of want Tinkerbell, so I don't want to take the chance of whatever I'm visioning to have to like ink and then throw really good cards of mine at the bottom of my deck. So it's like, okay, take the guaranteed ink, put that in the inkwell. It stings. It doesn't feel great, but we do have the Tinkerbell, which is a really good body and a battler. We have this silly bolt that might do some stuff, but the Goliath is in hand.
Sky clearly agrees with you because he keeps the Tinkerbell, which is probably the only reason Tipo didn't go in to get that free challenge on Mulan. And I wonder if Kawa will sniff that out. Like, why wouldn't you challenge my Mulan? Oh, well, maybe you're going to Tinkerbell me next turn, and that'll just pick her off anyway. So,
so we're going to go ahead and get our lore. Absolutely.
I'll get another lore. Why not?
Yeah, get that while you can. And this point, we're probably going to go ahead and ink the develop at the end of turn and then draw a card and hope it's not another develop or another Tipo.
See, but here's what makes me nervous. Without a Goliath, if you ink this develop and you don't draw into another form of like card draw or scry or something that gets you deeper in your deck, you could get stuck. Oh, yeah, you've got Namari. Never mind. Never mind.
She's a develop on a body, kind of,
right?
but not really. It's not the same at all. But we are going to go ahead and ink the develop and draw a Hades. So we turned a develop into a Hades. Look at us. We're gamers. Oh, another ink unequal. So, I mean, Cindy's good, but it's going to slow down your game plan.
Well, the problem is here now if he wants to play this Tinkerbell, he has to ink Goliath. Or you vice versa.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I was like, no, this forces him into like a Cinderella, but it does slow him down for a turn. Because you're like, oh, man, I wanted to do stuff this turn, not next turn. So it's like, he is on the play, so he's got that kind of going for him, but at the same time, I
think you have to, but you cannot give up this Tinkerbell or this. Well, the moment I say it, Sky's like, I'll show you what I can't give up. This is why I love when they just immediately contradict the thing. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that.
It's like, whatever, I'm just going to go ahead. I guess I'll take the Tipo trade, take out this Mulan, she's too active, she's too busy, get her out of here, take the Tipo trade, and we're going to pass and get no value because
no value. So this he's
unequal.
Clearly trying to just punish Kawa's hand and saying, okay, I can't do anything off this Goliath, but if you're junked up, you can't Hades yet this turn, maybe I can at least make you burn through a bunch of cards. We do have... What's the best way out of this? You can ink the Horseman, you can't play Hades. Namari will still keep your hand size basically the same, right? Because you'll draw one, but then you'll have to discard one. Mm-hmm. Of course, then you would go to end phase. I believe, does the turn player effects resolve first? So would the Cinderella resolve before the Goliath?
Yes, active player resolves. You get to choose the way you would like to.
I mean, your hand size will still be the same, but...
So, yeah, so basically what you can do is you can choose to do the Cindy triggers first. So you would ink, draw, and then the Goliath would happen, and then you would still have to discard.
Yeah.
So, did we draw?
So he resolved the Namari. He drew, he had double Tinkerbell, double Hades, discarded the Tinkerbell.
I got ahead of it.
Unless this Cinderella is brave enough to go on a quest, which she could, it would expose the Goliath if Sky wanted to challenge. Like, she might be safe to actually quest here.
Yeah, we're going to end that turn.
Goes to the turn end, inks a Tinkerbell, draws.
Please don't be something good. Let's be a Tipo.
Yeah, right?
It's going to be a Tipo. It's a Tipo. It's a Tipo. It's a Vincenzo.
It's Vincenzo. Oh. Pick your 7 cost. What do you hold on to?
I know. That's really, really rough, too. I mean, we are at 6 ink, but then we're going to go ahead and pitch the Vincenzo. It is a 2/8, and it does have 3 lore, but it only does 3 damage, and Hades is direct removal, 1/1. So
we're actually at 7 ink off the ramp from the Cinderella, because we quest, we
yes.
inked per turn, played this. So because of this, I like keeping the Hades. Again, it's that guaranteed removal. Even if you drop your own Vincenzo, I'm taking out that 8 willpower right away.
We do see the Cindy come down into the Firebolt, so now our Namari is gone. That's pretty good. 4 + 1 = 5, everybody. Oh, and now that, I mean, again, kind of seeing the power of being like, okay, no, the Cinderella, or not the Cinderella, but the Tinkerbell and the Thunderbolt together, pretty good. I mean, again, 2 cards to take out a 5 cost. And that's the thing, is this deck is not great at like 8 willpower and 7 willpower and 6 willpower, because we saw what it took just to take out 5. So it again, that's why you end up Hadesing the Namaris all the time, because it's hard out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we take out the Goliath, say no more emptying your hand and refilling for you, sir. And we do have another Hades waiting in the wings. I wouldn't expose the Cinderella, of course, not with Tinkerbell waiting there to snatch her up, but
oh no, absolutely not. We're gonna leave her forever. I'm gonna make you, oh my gosh. And we got another Thunderbolt off the top, which can be saying, honestly, I mean, you could go ahead and play.
Only takes out the Cindy, doesn't. Probably,
I was gonna say
you could just put the damage on the Hades, but other than if he tries to come in and trade, that doesn't do a whole lot.
I mean, that's 4, and he's not really going to want to trade. He can't really, you'd have to double trade into the Tinkerbell at that point. But, well, let's go play the Namari and see what we got. Let's look at our options. Oh, Strength of a Raging Fire, straight into the Inkwell. That's fine for me. And then, well, we only have...
You've got to discard something here. Do you value the removal and discard the Cindy? I mean, Hades got a big body.
So I think at this point I'm going to... Oh, Sky, come on, don't make me look stupid. I'm going to discard the Thunderbolt, and at the end of turn, I can't play the Cindy, so yeah, you can't do anything. Oh, man. If you could play that Cindy, you'd be really good. It'd be really great. But no, I'm not singing the Strength just for fun.
I mean, you'd take the Cinderella out. You'd put 2 more damage on it and finish it off. But Sky clearly not valuing that, saying, nope, I want the Thunderbolt. I want my own Cindy. And then you probably just pass here. It's too dangerous to quest with Tinkerbell. Although he doesn't know that there's a Hades waiting to come down and get her, but so we know that, but yeah.
Yeah, at this point, like Strength is the worst card in this matchup, so definitely getting rid of that one. Unfortunately, it would have been really, really nice to be able to play the Cinderella, because then you're like losing those 2 cards anyway and you don't care. But again, it's kind of setting him behind again, where he's like, great, now I get to do this next turn. But again, it's like you said, he has to know there's like 7 ink, and Kawa kind of did a bunch of finagling to make sure that he got to 7 ink. So you have to know that like Hades or a Vincenzo, but we discarded a Vincenzo. So there's no way that Sky's not like, man, you're holding a Hades, aren't you?
Yeah,
so
if you give up Vincenzo, you're probably holding Hades.
So like, are we getting our 2 lore or not is essentially the situation that he's in, because you're either going to have to double challenge into this and really get rid of your Cinderella and put some substantial damage onto your Hades, or I'm going to pass the turn and say, I'm going to make you have it. You better have Hades.
And
it better be
even
in there.
If he has it, there's a chance Kawa might Hades the Namari, saying, I don't want you digging deeper into your deck. So even though the Tinkerbell threatens the board more, maybe he wants to cut off the card advantage.
Yeah, I think the card advantage is probably the correct call at this point, but by not turning the Tinkerbell sideways, you're making him only be able to answer one thing this turn.
Hades does a repeat of last turn. Is there a downside to this? And instantly hits the Namari, saying, yep, I do not want you digging deeper into your deck. I want you to be forced to have to play what you draw off the top.
Yeah, and again, and this is starting to come down to it. Like at this point, we've got 2 Hades on the board. They're both 3/6. That Cinderella is not long for this world as soon as we turn her sideways. But unfortunately, you could turn your Hades sideways, but again, that's leaving you vulnerable to the Thunderbolt that is sitting in Sky's hand, which we don't know about, but we know about, but you know about. We all feel like geniuses because we're like, I wouldn't turn that sideways. But Kawa doesn't know that. So is it worth the 2 lore? Is it worth the risk?
I think you can be patient here. There's nothing like an Elsa coming down that's going to force an exertion. There's no Demona. Like, there's no Be Prepared. Like, in a mirror, like, I think you can afford to be patient if you so desire to. But, of course, I love that every time we say something, the player's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, are we singing?
Okay. So this makes a little bit of sense to me. It's like basically getting that card out of hand, going ahead and utilizing that, because when you do go ahead and challenge in, that's fine. You're losing your Tinkerbell. Yeah. So that's cool. Are you going to lose your Tinkerbell, or are you going to let me continue to get value?
And this is why this card was abandoned for sale.
Back. Yeah, it's back, but again, missing your turn 2 ramp is so poopy in this deck that you're like, I have to have 14 pieces of ramp to turn 2 ramp, or I'm just gonna lose the game when I miss it. So I mean, I respect the inclusion. It makes it more consistent. It makes sure that you get to play the game, and I think that's important.
I know it's going to feel bad to give up the Tinkerbell, but I think Sky has to, because he can take out 2, right? He Thunderbolts the Hades, hits it with the Tinkerbell, ricochets to the Cinderella, or you could even do it in reverse if you wanted to, but I don't think you can leave these on the board to just keep questing in your face.
No, and again, but Kawa is also seeing him with a vision of the future in the hand. It's like representing the best card out of the next 5 cards of his deck, and then on his 6th card because he's drawing for turn. So again, he's kind of like, whatever, like, you do your worst, take out my board, do some stuff, move some things around, and that's great. I still have a Hades on the board to your Cinderella. Having a 1 jump ahead in hand versus a vision of the future in the hand, like Kawa doesn't know, but like, man, I know, yeah. So now we get to see, and that's another good thing too. That's why Cinderella is so good in this deck, because you just filter that out, get rid of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We get our own Tinkerbell, a pretty nice body to stack on the board, and this Hades can start freely questing.
Who's she?
Yeah, you don't know good old Haley from the Underworld?
Yeah, Haley. Maybe she's Persephone's friend. Who knows?
Right.
But we'll
it's
see.
Persephone's best girl.
Yeah, right. They are close. But yeah, vision of the future. Look at the first 5 cards of your deck and pick the best one for the situation and put it into your hand. I remember when this card was spoiled, I had a bunch of locals that were like, this card's terrible. I was like,
yeah, what? It's double develop.
What?
It's more than double develop.
What? And they're like, well, it's putting all the good cards at the bottom of your deck. And I'm like, it's up to you. You choose.
Did we have a screen freeze, or is Sky just very still?
I think the screen has to have frozen because there's a little bit of blur going on Kawa's side. So
yeah, like that card is like almost in motion.
Yeah, so we'll see what's going on there.
Phil, did we have a screen freeze? Can you guys see?
Sometimes players tank so hard that they do freeze, and I get a little worried, and I'll be like, "Are they?" And then all of a sudden they'll move, and you're like, "Oh,
I think we had a screen freeze.
Goodness."
Hold up, technical difficulties. We're getting worked. There we go. Okay, now it's back. There we go. Okay.
It's back.
I was gonna say, I was like, Sky was sitting so still that I was like,
that's
starting to
some people tank.
Natural.
I was gonna say, yeah, some people tank so hard where I'm like, oh my god, are you tanking this hard because you're conserving brain energy? Like you're just not moving, and all of the power is happening here. And then they'll move, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Like we didn't lose them, but
so
yeah, we do.
I think what we missed was the vision into Namari, right? I think that's all that happened.
Yeah, the visions into an Amari, and then we ended up grabbing a Tinkerbell, and then we're going to discard the... Oh, we grabbed a Cinderella off the Namari, now we're discarding the Cinderella.
Trigger.
Yeah.
So Hades will freely quest. Cinderella, of course, cannot contest him, despite her
We do have a vision of the future on... Two vision. We get visions into a visions. All right, Sky. This is how you turn this back around, because looking at the best... like top 10 cards of your deck and pulling the best 2. I mean, I could set up the next couple turns and we're good to go. So visions into a visions is not a bad plan here.
Hades would be really good off the top. It's very unlikely to be a horseman because we've seen 3 of them already, and I think they're all residing in the Inkwell at this point.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the 4 horsemen of the Inkwell.
Yeah.
That's this game.
Pretty much. The apocalypse was that they got taken out pretty quickly, just liquidated into resources, and we've moved along. But now, is that the window ahead? I don't know.
Yeah, he's keeping his hand in a way I can't really tell. I think maybe I see a Vincenzo.
Okay, yeah, there's a Vincenzo. It looks potentially like a sail, and then a couple other cards. I love it. It's like we're doing that thing with the video game where you're like trying to
I'm tilting my head as if that's going to change the perspective
as if that's
of it.
Help. But we do go ahead and take the Vincenzo Santorini, which we can play this turn, and we will play this turn, and we're going to go ahead and put the damage onto the Hades. Nope, the Namari. I'm incorrect. And so maybe we turn our... Nope. I was like, maybe we turn our Cindy sideways, and then nope, we don't care.
Probably just saying, hey, if you turn that Namari sideways, I'm going to punish it with the Cindy.
Which, yeah, my 4-drop's going to take out your 5-drop that helps you draw cards or filter through cards. Yikes. So go ahead.
And then the full draw for turns. We have Tinkerbell and Cinderella, princesses galore. You could just
Tinkerbell is not a princess.
Oh, sorry, not she's not a princess. Namari.
No, she thinks she is. Actually, right? Tinkerbell thinks she's a queen at this point, so she actually might be. But
I'll say, is her big fairy card, the big purple 7 cost? Is that one a queen? I know that's like the big fairy one. I haven't looked at that card in a minute.
I know. I don't think she has a queen tag. I'd have to check. It's a beautiful art, though. I love the art on that card. I was like,
I know. I was hoping there would be like a fairy archetype or something. That
Yeah, it's like all your fairies do a thing, and they're like, oh, just kidding. There's 2 fairies,
yeah,
but
yeah. Nope, that's all you get.
That's all you get. But man, they're pretty. I love when they go hard on art like that.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, bulk box. But it's great.
Just Tinkerbell here. I don't think you want to give up a Tinkerbell to a Cindy Trigger.
No.
Put one on each, and you've still got the bigger bodies. You could just quest with Hades if you want. Neither Cinderella nor Vincenzo can really dare to threaten him, especially with a Tinkerbell waiting there to counter.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this Hades is all good to go. Basically, going off and getting to lore, and it says the 7 cost is indeed a queen. Well, good. I am glad they at least gave her that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you can do a queen synergy deck if you want to do Amethyst and Amber with the queen,
with
and
queen
you can
Sensor Core. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, queen Sensor Core and the queen, where you can like discard. No, she doesn't do work with a queen, but anyway, we'll get it in there. We'll make it work, but. Do see that we still have that Visions of the Future available to us as we rip a sail. God, why?
Much better than one jump off the top.
Yeah, it's much better. We're going to go ahead and dig. We have dug so far into our deck with Sky. Like, Sky has been doing stuff and things, and we're starting to get to the point where, like, 9 ink to 7 ink, again, Kawa was kind of falling behind in the resource game. And those visions are really going to be able to propel Sky exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, Sky is suffering from kind of one of the designs of Lorcana that I call the chase, which is he doesn't even have any lore on the board. So he somehow has to get control of Kawa's board and then send his own characters on a lore quest. Like, he's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants to win this game.
But again, I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of Goliath stuff going on.
No.
We've seen a lot of actions being played and a lot of good cards into the Inkwell as we do go ahead and take the Namari, which is going to be a really good... So this is actually going to be perfect. We play the Namari, and then at the end of our turn, we'll trigger the Cinderella, and then we can go ahead and ink the sail. And basically, okay, now we're going to have to discard the sail. And yeah, so...
Do you want to give up... Do you want to give up...
I'm keeping
Tinkerbell to Cinderella. I don't know if you can.
No, I'm not. That's a May trigger, and I'm not triggering anything at this point. That Tinkerbell belongs to me.
If you could get a Hades off of it, maybe.
It's going to be a Tipo.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah, exactly. Come on, it could be anything. It can be Hades.
Yeah. Oh, man. No! Okay, all right.
Wow.
Going for the gamble. He knows what he needs, and he's going to play the sail. What is happening? I am fascinated by this line of play.
Don't draw into a Hades.
Oh, the fourth horseman!
Oh, well, you can't give that up.
Never punished. Let's go. Oh my God, I'm so excited. But then again, we've actually gone through quite a few actions at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the percentage left in his deck that he has, but it can't be super high. So this horseman might whiff.
I appreciate him wanting to catch up on lore, but we can just send either, if we want, we could probably just send Namari in, but we could send in the Hades for 3 and then the Tinkerbell's 4, and then the Tinkerbell can ricochet to the Cinderella. So that's a risky quest there. But again, Sky, like I said, he's pretty far behind. Maybe he feels like he needs to, that I've got to get some of this lore on the board. I can't go 0 to 28 turns from now.
Well, Vincenzo is, like, again, he is noodle arms to strength, and we are not going to do a lot of punching with him. So if he's not getting lore and we don't see it beyond the horizon in this deck, he's not doing anything. I'm just going to quest with him. I do not care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So good. If you got to send a bunch of stuff in to make my Vincenzo get gone, then fine. I need you to do that because you're at 8 and I'm at 3. And if you choose to take care of my Vincenzo instead of questing the 6th lore that's on your board,
True,
bro, that's cool. You go ahead.
Point. That's a very good point. Kawa uses a vision of the future.
Oh my God, it's the worst visions in the world.
Yeah, you do not look at that future. You are not going to like what you see. It's a lot of T-pos, and there's a thunderbolt.
Captain Hook.
There's just lightning and flashes of T-po. It's like, oh my goodness.
So bad. That is not a great vision of the future, although I think that might be a vision or a sail on the very far left, that 2-cost action. No, it's not a... See. Yeah.
I mean, Thunderbolt's okay. You could pick off, I guess, this. Well, actually, okay, so here's where we can be punished for that quest. If you take Thunderbolt, you cast it, now you ricochet to the Namari, and now you've taken the Namari off the board, which is a lot more enticing than taking the Cinderella off the board.
But then we're still, so we challenge in with the Namari, take out, well, no, because
so you put 3 on with the Hades, that takes Vincenzo to 4, and then 4 from the Tinkerbell, and then you shoot the Namari.
Oh, yeah, and you'd actually be pretty good in that situation.
And then along came Zeus, he hurled that thunderbolt.
Yep. And so I think that's exactly what we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and put that 4 on there. And you were completely correct in that assumption. You were like, oh, hold up. Wait a minute. I see a line. And I was like, I don't know. Let's just sail or whatever. I don't know. Like, you know.
That'll be 3.
And again,
yeah. Oh, man. And that's because, like you said, you actually made a really good point that, like, just ricocheting to the Cinderella, that's not as bad. But, oh, man, we got punished there by losing that Namari.
That's crazy because, yeah, like, again, it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and quest and it's fine. But at the same time, like, we needed exactly Thunderbolt to do that. But then probably, again, like, Sakai probably saw, like, oh, okay, saw that visions. And he's like, oh, no. Like, you know, and we're like, I'm sitting over laughing about Tipo and stuff. And it's like, actually, no, this is devastating. I'm in danger. So we did see this situation where we're doing it.
Get the stables color. Bring out the horseman.
Yeah. We're doing it. We're going for the Cursed Rider. Sky, you're just going to flip 5, aren't you? And play the Namari. No, okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Don't do that.
All right. So we're going to get to draw up to 3 and discard at random. So I think Kawa has no cards in hand. So we're going to have to go ahead and discard all of them. We got 2.
One action.
Sail.
We lose a Hades too, though. That's pretty
and a
good.
Namari. Ouch. So Hades and Namari, but we do have 2 damage.
That's enough to take out Namari at least. So minimum, you've got that card taken out.
Oh, that's so good. He's like, all right, you want this one?
Hades or Tinkerbell.
So we got rid of our own Hades and Namari, right?
Yeah.
So,
wow. No, is that Hades or is that Strength? Oh, it's Hades.
Is that Goliath?
Ooh.
Is that Hades? So Hades Namari on Kawa's side, and then Hades Namari on Sky's side. So Horseman giveth and Horseman taketh, but woo! And now we have a Captain Hook.
He's just searching with his lantern, like,
I know.
I seem to have stepped into the wrong playfield here.
Yeah, that is some devastation on that side. Getting rid of like some of the best cards in the deck just to be able to do 2 damage.
Yeah, see,
it's painful.
There's that gamble you said that we saw the insane 10 earlier, and I guess we were due for the 2-drop at this point.
I know, right? Yeah, but hey, we got another Namari, so what does it matter? Wow. Kawa is drawing what he needs off the top here. And again, what we were talking about before, yes, the Horseman did come down and do a whole bunch of nothing, but at the same time, it's a big body.
It's a big body.
And that Namari will cleanly trade with it, but again, that Hook's still here.
Well, and so I think Kawa has no hand, so here is a downside of Namari in the sense that her filter now is just going to go right to the discard. You don't get to make that choice anymore.
Yes, the Horseman did end up dealing 2 damage and took out the Namari that was holding the 3 damage. So it did do something. I was just being a little bit, dramatic because that's who I am as a person and saying that it did nothing. But it did do something. But at the same time, like being able to just take care of the Namari and develop your brain's nice.
That always feels good. Nice little 1 ink. See the best
of
the
top 2.
Next 2. Hopefully it's not a Tipo and a 1-jump.
Oh my God. He just throws his cards up in the air. Yeah. He's like, I quit. It's a Visions of the Future.
I'm having Ruby Sapphire flashbacks.
I know what to say. This is it. That's the thing that they do. 0 cards in hand, develop off the top into a Visions of the Future, into a Popsicle, into a Hiram, and you're like, bro, chill.
And then they got a shark sitting there. So in that deck, it was like, oh, and I got 4 lore off of that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I just burned you out for the last bit of the turn. Sky, what are you doing? He's like, these cards are poopy. Not all of my Cinderellas and all of my Thunderbolts. And is it a Mulan?
I think it's Mulan's. Yeah, I think it's double Mulan, Cindy, and 2 Thunderbolt. Oof.
It's because all of your good cards got Horseman into the discard.
Yeah, they did. I think you have to take Thunderbolt here. It can at least take out Tinkerbell. It could even take out Hades, although Tinkerbell's probably the bigger threat.
Yeah. Take out the Tinkerbell, get rid of that, and then maybe turn him sideways and then lose your board. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, you could send Horseman or the combination of Cinderella and Hook into Hades, and you have to start contesting this board.
Yeah.
The good news is,
but I mean, neither player has any cards in hand.
Yeah, Kawa might not want to give up his Namari. Maybe he will though, because again, without cards in hand, she isn't actually doing much for him.
No, definitely not. So basically, what you're going to have to end up doing is drawing a card and hoping it's a Tipo, and then passing.
Yeah.
Or you hope it's the Hades, but at this point, cut most of them in your discard.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to, again, I think, no, because even with the Hook, the Horseman is a 5/7. So even with the Captain Hook, if you throw it into the Horseman, you're only doing 3 damage. Yeah. Horseman lives.
It's got to be the Namari without some sort of supplemental damage, and she'll trade it out.
Which is not great. Which is not great. Because that's what, like, again, if we're a little bit more patient at this point, hopefully we draw a good card, because that would be fantastic. But if we draw a bad card, then we're just going to have to pass the turn and then filter at the beginning of our next turn, which is awful.
Yeah. Is Sky feeling the pressure a little bit, putting the hook to a quest, saying, hey, like you said earlier, if you want to slow down to come get me, then that's fine. It means you're not getting to 20.
And I know, and this is definitely where that is. We do see the Thunderbolt off the top, so that will cleanly take out the Horseman.
Yeah, he might be cursed and scary, but I don't think he's immune to thunder and electricity.
No. So now we actually are in a great position. So again, I was like, oh, either we draw the perfect answer for the situation, or we literally pass and have to filter next turn. But now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up this board and leaving ourselves an Amari.
Yeah.
And a hook.
And Kawa, like, I appreciate what Sky was trying to do there. Like, I've got to sneak in the lore when I can, but Kawa with another great top deck that just completely punishes going sideways, just like with the Vincenzo earlier. It is people off the top.
No, not like this. Not like this. This is worse than the one jump. And now his silly little face is smiling at you as he loses you the game. I swear. Right. And then we get to develop your brain off the top of Kawa's deck, which is, like, again, the best two cards of your deck. If you drew a Tipo and I drew a develop for turn, right. I just like, I'm just like,
feels bad.
Like, you know what I mean? It's so bad. Oh, but yeah, again, we do see, I think we ripped Divisions of the Future. So huzzah.
Oh, yep.
It's whatever we want. Developing Divisions. Hey, we watched Sky do it last game. Now we're watching.
Kawa was like, that's pretty good. Like, I'm gonna copy that.
Yeah. That play, that seems like a really good idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on my turn as a true mirror match situation is happening. And God, ripping the Tipo off the top. Into a Hades. Are you? Do you Hades the Tipo?
No, I don't think you need to. I think you just. As funny as that would be, I think you save it in case he pulls a bigger card out.
I know, but at this point, yeah, we're only at 10, of course. We're at 10 lore, and we only have 7 ink to Sky's 9 ink. So again, even though we don't have any cards in hand, Sky does have a lot more resources available to them. And only being 5 lore behind is not a big deal because, again, a lot of these characters have quite a bit of lore stacked on their bodies. So all we need to do is something good. And
Goliath?
We're going to...
Oh,
no, it's that...
Ramp.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't have any cards in hand, so the Cinderella will trigger and nothing happens, which is, pain. But we do take the hook, so I got him out of here.
Well, and so I mentioned it a couple times. I'll just reiterate it here. Like, here's why Goliath is so important, because you get into these situations, you're just top decking. And speaking of Goliath, I think I just willed him into existence as we actually get rid of him.
Ripped him. For the Vincenzo. Oh, that's such a good card in this situation because you're going to go bomb. Goodbye, Cindy. Goodbye, any chance you have to filter through your next few turns. And now I'm just going to quest because what are you going to do? Draw removal?
Tipo's going to take 15, 20 damage in return.
I know, right?
Tipo, it's like Tipo going up to the Great Wall of China and just going,
yeah, absolutely not great. I think we're frozen here again, so we'll have to see what's going on, but
Phil, did we freeze again? Sorry.
Yeah, so we are probably going to go ahead and take this Nemario on a quest because unless Kawa rips something very fancy off the top of his deck, I don't think that Tipo will be able to do much in the face of this angry princess. It's like a villain princess, which is crazy. Like,
right?
Having the villain princess tag. But I guess if you're going to be that big, then you might as well. And again, I kind of really liked what Kawa did because he realized he took that Goliath, looked at it, and went, I'm not giving you cards. So in doing that, he discarded the thing that would actually give Sky the advantage because, again, Sky actually does have more ink available to him than Kawa. So seeing that, recognizing that, ripping that Goliath, getting him straight out of hand, and then being just blessed by drawing the 7 cost with 3 lore on it. It is exactly the card that he wanted because, we just scooped it.
I'm telling them. They're just lagging.
No, you're good. I didn't realize the game had, it kind of froze on our end, so I didn't
that's unfortunate. So, all right. So I think Kawa takes it here, right? No? Oh, God, was that? No. Was that 1-1? Wait, what game was this?
Yeah, it was game 3. So Kawa.
What year is it? Okay, it's fine. Kawa takes it. So the EU takes for a game and at a Sapphire Steel mirror against one of the Sapphire Steel gurus. Kawa takes it against Sky.
Major congratulations. Major congratulations.
Heyo.
Hello. How's it going?
How you guys doing?
me jump into Discord.
I just finished that game and I told Sky how bad I played. I played so bad. I feel so bad for Sky. Sky had like 3 whiffs off of his visions. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
When you guys watch this back, I swear to God, I'm really sorry for laughing at you, Sky. I do feel the pain. Bro, I was like, bro, if you draw another one jump, I'll freak out. And then I was like, okay, he's only got 2 in the deck, but they're both. I was like, okay, he's only got.
Horseman betrayed me. He
oh my God.
Oh yeah, the Horseman card is the best cards.
Bro, okay, so like your Horseman discarded an Amari and a Hades. I was like, stop. And then Sky's discarded 2 Namaris and a Hades, and I was like, what is happening? And then you visions, and it's like the worst visions in the entire world because all of your good cards are now in your discard. So I was like, man, that Horseman was so fun,
like,
but
pretty bad. I need like Hades or Horseman for any of them. And, like,
hold on, Sky, you're really quiet. Let me bump you up. Sorry, go ahead.
So like, especially the last vision was just like a cherry on top. It was like double Cindy, double Mulan, and like a Thunderbolt or something.
I know.
Not only that, like you're
I need to play characters while doing that. So
yeah, you're also top decking Tipo into Cindy. Into,
I
like,
know,
come on, bro.
I
like,
know. I was like watching it happen, and I was like, "What is happening?" And again, I think now, and just kind of like, I'll be serious for a moment. Like in that matchup, like the Sapphire Steel Mirror, I was kind of discussing it with Rudrose a little bit earlier about how there's not like you're probably not teching your deck really heavily for a mirror type situation. Is that kind of how the metagame is going so far, or like what do you?
Yeah, you can tech it, I think, slightly. I mean, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, Sky, but we've seen some people start to play some, like, sudden scares, like the 4-cost Inkable removal card, right? Because, like, the later the game goes on, it just acts as, like, another piece of removal. But I don't know if it's exactly, like, a tech, because in that mirror match, like, if you start to use that, even in, like, the mid to late game, as you saw from what Sky did in game 1, where he went Cindy, like, if you get them to, like, 13 ink, 14 ink, and they can like play 2 of their characters at once, that's super strong. But like, I guess if you just want more removal against like single big targets, that card's probably fine. It actually acts. We saw how good Thunderbolt was sometimes with the off of a vision or off of something else, just sometimes even hard casting it for 4 rather than singing it, right? So if you need some extra piece of removal, I think it's fine. But Sky, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that card in Blue Steel.
yeah, actually, I think that card is like not that great in the mirror because like if you can get to 11, 12 ink, you can start double spelling with like
exactly. That's true.
Your 7
yeah.
costs and an Amari, or your 8 costs and an Amari or something like that. But I think the mirror really just comes down to, did you hit Cindy and did you hit your good top decks? Because if you can just string together 7 and 8 costs for like the whole rest of the game, you're probably going to be in a good spot. It's like, also another thing is like hitting a spell off of Cindy right away. If you go first and you just go ramp into Cindy, into like Zeus into Goliath,
you win the game. You just win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys saw that. Sorry, I don't know. I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys like could hear us, but like me and Sky, I was sitting there saying like, I wanna Thunderbolt the little boy. I wanna get an extra card off.
I know. Oh my God, that play you made was hysterical because Rudrose was like, okay, so Kawa could do something unhinged here, and he could actually bolt his own Tipo to get the value off it. And I was like, who in their right mind? And you did it right as he said it, and I lost my mind. I was like, that is the best thing I have ever seen. You're like, I want all of the Goliath value. That was so good. So again,
Sky knew exactly like what I was talking to him. I was like, I could do something really funny. He's like, bro, I've been in this situation. I know what you want to do.
I don't think I would have done that. Actually.
Do it.
I think I would have just, because you inked an Amari. I think I would have just played the Amari that turn and like taken it off and then played Goliath that turn. Like,
I'm here for the unhinged plays.
You get the ramp with the Amari that turns.
Wait, you said you wouldn't have. Yeah, so if my hand was
I would have just
Amari,
like discard the Zeus, and then you can play Goliath next turn because you get the because you get the.
Yeah, I was considering that a lot, honestly, because I was considering that a lot, honestly. I was evaluating it, and then I'm just like,
you did that after. I was like, oh, he missed the Amari, and then you inked the Amari. I was like, oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah. It's definitely a different option.
I got for sure punished because I inked the Tipo in game 2, and I should have just gone triple ramp because I inked the Tipo in Goliath. I can just go into 7, and I don't discard like any cards. I don't think. But
yeah, I noticed that you were kind of sitting there, kind of back and forth in that situation. I was like, okay, so you have the Goliath in hand, and for like a second, I didn't realize that you had the Goliath, and I was like, well, if he draws Goliath here and goes and heads, and I was like, wait, no, it's in the middle. get rid of those cards, Sky. What are you doing? But then you were kind of like going through, and I was like, okay, well, he knows a lot more than I know. So yeah, and I was like, okay, well, we could
keep this open for double ramp, but I had like a 5 cost. I was like, I'm pretty sure I have to play Namari going second, but like going to 7 would have actually been good because I could have I had 2 Hades. So if I just go to 7, play Hades on the first Goliath, he like plays one more big thing, and then if I Hades the second one, he misses for like 1 turn maybe. It's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Can I ask you?
I think I was in a bad spot no matter what because I missed Cindy and he was going first and he hit Cindy, so it's pretty.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you both about this deck in this particular meta. So I used to play this back in like set 2, set 3 when it had Whole New World. And so I'm kind of used to it having such a big hand size. And it seems like this newer version really lives or dies by Goliath, and that you're kind of in that, I want a top deck, I want to put out whatever Goliath gives me and then gives me those 2 cards back. Do you think there's another form of it where it could have a lot of card draw? Or do you think that's kind of this set 10 version of this deck, is that it just really lives or dies off that top deck with the Goliath?
I think it definitely has to kind of exist like this. You can play like a little bit more, like the way you kind of draw cards more in this deck, I think, is with Cindy. So if you play stuff like Ariel, instead of just going straight to like 7 costs and going that way, you can play as an Ariel, which like nets you an ink, so you don't have to ink the next turn to go to 7. And then you can kind of get value the next turn. If you want to go to 8, you can sing a song and take the trigger, still play something like a 5 or 6 cost with it. But there's just not a lot of good draw options. So like I think just playing one big character per turn is like the best you can do. That's why there's just so many. Like I max out Hades, max out Vincenzo, max out Horseman. And kind of for the reason like last game, I have all those max counts and I still struggle to find like enough. And if you struggle to find, lose. So you kind of have to just live and die by the top deck. And same thing with like Cindy, like it's like 73-74% chance to start with it. It's much stronger if you do, but if you miss, then it kind of is what it is.
Yeah. That's very fair. I guess I'll ask about, obviously you didn't run into it in this match too. What do you both think of the new Spooky Sight card? Really good against aggro decks. Does it just kind of clog your hand against other decks? Like I haven't seen many blue decks running it.
I'll let you speak on it again, Sky, because you're more you're way more familiar with this deck.
Your worst matchup is actually like aggro. Amber Steel aggro, I think, is really tough to beat on the draw. Like it's almost impossible. Spooky Sight can make it so it is possible if they don't play Pete on like turn 4 to stop it.
Yeah.
But sometimes even if they with Pete, they just don't play anything on their turn 4 and they just hold like 2 or 3 cards and they can just reestablish and you have nothing on board at that time. So you can sneak some games, but the problem is it's just really clunky. Like with Goliath, like if you're opening a hand where you want to play Goliath right away and you draw that, it's kind of like Beyond the Horizon in that sense where it's a card you can't get rid of. It's not inkable.
Yeah.
You can't really play it. You're gonna be like max drawing 1 with Goliath, and that's like not a super great place to be. Versus Purple Steel can sometimes have some game into it, especially if they don't play like a Genie or a 4 cost on turn 4 and they just go super wide. You can sometimes just sneak games by just playing a Spooky Sight on turn 4 then.
Gotcha.
But against all the other matchups, it feels really bad. It's uninkable and it's just pretty dead. So I favor
it's also
something like Captain Hook that's inkable. That's also pretty good into Purple Steel and Amber.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like the card is like so dead in so many other matchups, and then against some of your aggro stuff and Purple Steel, I feel like Hook fits the place of Spooky as much as it can do, and like Spooky really dilutes, as Sky said, like you run like max out on your big, like your high cost cards. I mean, Sky, you could speak on this. I feel like the decks that play Ariel, do they like trim out any of the other high cost cards, or they just like do they just like cut the hooks and then play the Ariels instead?
Usually they're cutting 1 cost. Like I've been kind of experimenting with the card. I think it's actually pretty good because it's pretty good into Purple Steel. It can kind of lock that matchup up if you go Cindy Ariel. But yeah, like you have to kind of cut the 1 cost, which stings because they can be good in that matchup too. Like something like Hook ramp into Cindy into next turn. Like Tinkerbell plus Sing like Zeus is like the most anti-aggro thing you can go, and that's like almost as good as playing a Spooky Sight versus like Amber Steel, especially if they don't start Daisy and your Hook kind of holds up their first 2 turns of questing. That's definitely enough to stop them. So it's kind of like,
I think Thunderbolts helped so much against it as well to like really be able to shut off the Tiana, and it's not like before, like where we have to just rely on strength to get our strength numbers up, because if you're playing a ramp deck like this, it's pretty difficult even if you still go 1 drop into Tipo into Cinderella, then you need to have like that exact opening of what we saw where it's like then the 6 drop and the strength. But in this case, it's like you don't need to have all of the characters. You can like miss your 1 drop, just play 1 jump, and then as long as the Cindy lives, you can just use the Thunderbolt with that. So it
even if you hit your tank, also like strength becomes a Tiana killer as well, because you deal one with tank and you have your one cost and then Cindy plus tank.
Excellent.
Well, thank you guys for like the complete like Metafy guide for the Sapphire Steel matchup at this point, because I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure Twitch chat owes you guys like a little bit of compensation for that, for also giving us a little bit of your like a taste of the Podcana podcast that you guys are both on too. So honestly, like, I could listen to you guys talk about this stuff all day.
I think the deck is super simple. So like if you nail down, like if you don't mess up in the early turns, it's pretty obvious. Like, okay, I'm playing one card per turn for most of the game. So
yeah.
I want to say I did mess up a lot as well. Like my game one, I think it was my game one, or maybe it was even my game two. Like I played terribly today. I want to say Sky got very unlucky. He's the blue steel master. I'm a noob. I'm a scrub. But the cards fell my way.
I messed up too, but it was in the early. It's usually like the first two inks. Like if you mess up the first two inks, it can be kind of bad. Like sometimes you need to keep for like a triple ramp, and like say like your hand, you have to hit something crazy like that to have a chance.
Well, there's one more card I have to ask you both about, because I think it's a card with pretty wild opinions on it, and that is the Headless Horseman, the Cursed Rider. We saw him go off on one turn, and he just obliterated Tinkerbell from orbit with 10 damage. But then another turn, it only did 2 damage. And I'm a very consistent type of player, so like a card like that kind of makes me nervous, because it's like, oh, what if he gets rid of all the good cards in my hand? But obviously some people really love the chaos that he brings. So just kind of tell me your thoughts on that Headless Horseman.
I think Headless Horseman is just he kind of, to me at least, he acts similarly to Vincenzo in terms of he's a big body, does something immediately when he comes down. Depending on like your matchup, like you hope that he at least deals 4, and 4 should be taking out something most of the time. If you ever high roll and you're dealing like 6 to take out opponent's Hades, it's like super, super good. But just the disruption that this card offers as well, like you mentioned, is really good. Yeah, I could see like it's a bit of a weird one to wrap your head around initially, and I know a lot of people weren't like that high on it either. But it's, I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say that you specifically build the deck around him, but like this type of deck just happens to play a lot of songs, a lot of cheap actions. I honestly have to say I think like my favorite card in the deck has been Namari. Honestly, I think Namari. Like trying to make the decision, like you mentioned, Sky, like actually there's often times when you're like, okay, do I play this Goliath or do I play this Namari? And in the mirror match, it's, I think, depending on what's on their board, I think that the Namari is just oftentimes better. Like I had a situation there where I was like, I got a Goliath in my hand, like I instantly tossed it. I think it's because I had a Hades, but like I don't think I want to play Goliath if my opponent doesn't have a lot of cards in their hand. They don't have too much on board, because I'm going to be drawing them as well, essentially. And I just think the Namari is just a super, super good card. She also, like, think about it, you're playing so many cheap actions, you're playing develops, you're playing visions, you're playing all these song cards you could be playing for free. So that means you're racking up a lot of cards in the discard for her strength. And it's not like you need a lot. Like as soon as you hit 6, okay, as soon as they either use, like they use their Hades, they use their Horseman, they use anything to try and actually challenge into it, it's like trading, which is huge. So the filtering it gets, the body it leaves behind after it, I think Namari is like such a good fit. And I know Sky can speak about this a little bit more. Like Namari is kind of what you want to be doing on the draw a lot. Would you agree, Sky, if you go for your Cindy route instead of Goliath, right?
I think there's good routes both on the play and on the draw. I'd say honestly on the play is when it's like comes out more often, because on the draw there's plenty of matchups where you kind of just have to play a tank or something to stop the tempo.
Sure.
But if you don't have that, you definitely want Namari. And the good thing about Namari is like on the play, if you're not going for like the fast Goliath, you go Cindy, Namari, you ink up to 6, and you don't have to ink for the turn, so you just stay
correct. Yeah.
Whenever you like, you usually don't have to get to 8 for Horseman, because you want to use Horseman as your like finisher, right? Because he could mess up your hand, and like usually you have like a Hades plus a Horseman, so you want to play Hades into Horseman, so you keep that Hades. So just staying at that 7 ink is like fine for a while, and it's just like so much card value, and then it helps you filter out like all the bad stuff in your deck that you don't want to see. Keeps those top decks around, and it will always have like massive numbers, like in this matchup, like when you need to actually swing with things.
Yep.
So it can take out Hades for free, it can take out Tank and Live. And I think part of the reason why Horseman is so good is like he statted well against stuff like Namari. He can take out something else and then like trade with Namari is like the best thing they can do. Like Tank plus hit with the Horseman kills the Hades. You can take out a Tank and still live with the Horseman. They're like the Horseman's just a big like tank, and it's like you need more than just 4 Hades. It's like single target removal. Like usually Horseman can hit for at least 4, sometimes 6 to take out like a Hades or something. So it really just acts like it's a little bit bigger Hades that's inkable.
Nice.
Yeah.
We do have a question from the
awesome.
chat. Oh, sorry, Color. I just want to get this in. A question from the chat. Someone asked, what do they both think about Thunderbolt action? I don't know if you have any comments on that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love this card.
Good.
It's no Zeus, at least in my opinion, but it is. We need something, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of turns where like we both top decked Zeus, and then like even though it wasn't like our best, like Vincenzo or Hades or Horseman, like it was still like very good to just remove one.
We
like,
both went Tinkerbell into Thunderbolt, right? Like I did that one game, and then you did that one game, and it's just like you were sitting there like, please, if I get Tink, and I was the same. I was like, if I get Tink, the game's like the breakpoints are so good for me here.
Yeah, because I had that one turn where I top decked a Tink, and then I sang Zeus to take out Shir and Amari, and I was like, thank goodness, we're back. We have a chance.
Very nice.
I'm curious, guys. When you guys were looking at the decks, how close were me and Sky on the build? Roughly,
you were 2 cards off. He had 4. He had 4 Milan and he had 4 Hook, and that was literally the difference.
Was the only difference.
Yeah, because I just made the change. You remember you said that on the pod, Sky. We looked at someone else's deck.
I just submitted the old list because I've been like experimenting with a bunch of stuff. And I was like, we'll just do this. I think in this matchup, probably Mulan is better, even though she dies to Tinkerbell. Like I think just having the filter in is like more important.
The filter, I think I agree. Yeah, you're right.
The same.
When I was loading the decks to get the casting set up, I had to do a double take because I was like, wait, did I make a mistake? I'm just looking at the same list. I was like, oh no, it's that close. I'd never seen a list that close before.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you guys, I really appreciate. Oh, sorry, Sky, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we're just throwing haymakers at each other is pretty much what the matchup is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
awesome.
We were both very entertained by both of you. Go ahead, Color.
I was gonna say, it was very well played, and like thank you so much for playing and everything and coming out, and congratulations, Kawa, on the EU win on that one. Again, I know we were laughing too, and I was like, all right, it's Kawa versus Sky, but they're like kind of buddies, so like you know what I mean? Like I was like, is this gonna be a mirror match? Holy crap, it is! So
it was getting sad.
It's 2 wins for Podcana no matter what, right? So that's what I'm happy about. Tiago won his game, and honestly,
are absolutely crushing it today.
Yeah, I think honestly, as I said, I feel like I got extremely lucky, but it's just kind of how this mirror match goes. As Sky said, like if you just top deck your big cards, you top deck them. But no, it was fun. Thanks. I want to give a shout out to the organizers. I want to give a shout out to Phil, the judge. He was super kind, helping us get set up, and shout out to the chat and the viewers for watching this event.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Sky?
awesome.
Same thing. Yeah, shout out to Pavel for putting this on. It's a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity. I feel really honored to be invited on this season. Shout out to Podcana. Thank you, Kawa, for getting me on. So,
no problem, man.
Gotta pay my dues. And shout out to you guys for.
Thank you guys. Shout out to you guys. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, okay, listen, you're gonna watch the VOD back, so don't thank us just yet. But like, I was like, I made some jokes.
I wouldn't have done that.
No, I'm just kidding. No, you're awesome, and thank you so much, and congratulations again. And we'll see you in the next few rounds of the LCCC.
CCC.
Right. Yeah. Yes. All right, you guys have a good day.
See you, boys.
Thanks, guys. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Jump back.
Or at least I'm back.
There we go. Okay,
hey.
back in the video. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here. Color and I are going to wrap it up. Color, big shout out to her for keeping an eye on the chat while I was trying to do all the behind the scenes stuff. Color, is there any shout outs or plugs or anything you want to do?
I mean, shout out to you for actually doing all the production stuff there. I know we figured it out and got it done, and good for that. And then, shout out obviously to Pavel and allowing me to even be in this little square right here. So super awesome, all the judges and everything. And again, thanks to everybody that joined us, because I'd just be talking to myself and me just Rudrose watching some games. So shout out to you guys for joining. And if you want to follow me, I am Color is Law on literally everything, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, on the other ones.
Yeah,
all of them. Yeah. So Color is Law. So come follow me. And I talk too much, but we probably have a good chat about some bad cards, which are typically my favorite. So you guys have a good time.
Absolutely. Color, thank you for being here with me. I always love casting with you. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Hey yo.
Bye.
Bye.